Hopefully that circle pit is an indication of where I was last night. So hello again, I'm Danielle Kessner, and this is another episode of I Was There Last Night, because I was there last night, seeing Hatebreed DevilDriver featuring Devil You Know at the Summit Music Hall here in Denver. So got the ticket to prove it. So first of all, I want to say this is the first time I've been to a show like this in a long time. Most of the concerts I've been to have been either hard rock, melodic death metal, stuff like that. And you get a very different feel from those shows than you do from a show that has an extreme metal band like DevilDriver or a hardcore band like Hatebreed. It certainly brings out a different kind of energy to it, and especially at the Summit Music Hall, which just layout wise, basically all it is one big pit. That's all it is. You got a balcony and a pit. That's all it is. So hence why we got some pretty epic circle pits going last night. I didn't partake, bad back and all that, but definitely got some of the effect of it. So, but let's jump right into it. So the first band that went on was Devil You Know. Devil You Know is the new band from Howard Jones and a few other musicians from some other bands. But obviously Howard Jones of Killswitch Engage fame. He left the band Killswitch Engage amicably, but he had to do it for his own, basically, mental health. There's a great Josta podcast where he talks to Howard about it. But anyhow, so Devil You Know went on. I don't know their stuff too well. I know, a few songs here and there. I don't think they played anything I knew. But what they did play, they just came out and just started shredding it right away. They just, came out, got the crowd energized, fired up. A couple of songs that they played. Consume the Damned was the first one they played, which was awesome. I mean, it was a great way just to set the tone for the night, is just, start firing right away. 7 Years Alone, that was a fun one as well. A New Beginning, Embracing the Torture. So, I mean, they had, a number of just like great songs that, could get get people kind of riled up, ready to go. At that point, there wasn't really a whole lot of people there ready to, partake. I think more of them were waiting for DevilDriver. But those who did partake were certainly, thrilled with, the music and the energy that they were, producing, as well as Howard's just, his demeanor on stage. Howard's one of those just awesome frontman because he loves to schmooze with the crowd. He loves to make a lot of jokes. It's great to see him again. I've only seen Killswitch once with Howard, but I just remember how much fun he was in trying to get the crowd, just ready and pumped up and all that. And, not only that, but just making fun of people left and right, which is what he does. But he does it. I mean, it's done with love, and it's fun and it's entertaining. And I know the crowd responded really well to that. So definitely a great way to start the night, Devil You Know. I mean, it was a short set, like 6 or 7 songs, but they definitely got everybody ready to go, rearing, just set, especially given the fact that we were about to see DevilDriver, which I've seen DevilDriver 2 or 3 times in the past, I think twice actually. And both times they were just absolutely insane. This is way back when. This is a long time ago. This is, I think, when they still had like 1 or 2 albums out. So this was even before, Clouds Over California. This is before Pray for Villains. This is before, Bring the Fight to the Floor. I mean, this is like all these songs that were just like that, over the years they added that just would bring so much energy to their music. And, so the last couple of times I've seen him was way back when. So I really, was excited to see some of the stuff that, over the years I've, been listening to DevilDriver, some of the stuff that they would play that, I've, would love to see them play live. And they did play a few of those, out there. But DevilDriver is, it, they're insane. They really are. They bring so much just like aggressive energy to their music, which is why I've always been drawn to them. Is Dez, despite having a bad experience meeting him once, and I mean, just like personally, it was, just me kind of moping about it a little bit, but Dez is one of those front men who he just like commands your respect. I mean, and because one of the things I loved about Devil Driver's set is just how positive he tried to make it. Obviously, he wanted to get the circle pit going. He wanted people to, just exert any energy that they had, but he didn't want it to be like negative and violent. He wanted it to be like this positive, just like release the negativity and, leave here feeling better, be positive and all that. I mean, that's kind of always been Devil Driver's like MO is that, they are still like trying to promote this positive message, even though the music itself comes across as really violent and extreme and aggressive. They really do promote a good positive message, and he certainly reiterated that throughout the set last night. Their set was, I think, 10 or 11 songs. Just a couple of highlights. They opened up with End of the Line, which I thought was a great choice. Given how many, I mean, that was from their second album. Given how many albums they've had since then, with some really great songs that could open a show, to start with End of the Line, I thought was just a great like throwback, as well as just the fact that that song is madness. That song is just fantastic way to to get people going. Um, they played a couple songs off their new album. The only one I remember the name of is Daybreak. That one was awesome. That was superb. And then they touched on a number of other songs from their other albums. They played Not All Who Wander Are Lost, Dead to Rights. They played Nothing Wrong. I Could Care Less. That's always a crowd favorite. You know, that was like the first album, first like Devil Driver hit was I Could Care Less. So anytime they play that, people get just energized with that. Before the Hangman's Noose, they played that one. That was fun. Ruthless off of Winter Kills. So they really did touch on just about every album. Didn't play anything from Pray for Villains, but I don't know if anybody really is gonna care. I mean, that's definitely not my favorite Devil Driver album. So especially the fact that they played some of the big ones. The the video I showed is from Clouds Over California, which he changed the lyrics a little bit to make it Clouds Over Denver. It's no secret that Dez is a big weed guy. You know, every time I saw him before, he pretty much had just weed paraphernalia all over him. But this time he was a little bit more a little bit harder, a little older looking. I mean, it's been quite a long time since last time I saw him. But he definitely was, touching on the fact that, Denver, Colorado, we have legalized marijuana. So obviously he loved that fact, and would not stop playing, not stop playing that up. But, still, Clouds Over California, it's one of my favorite Devil Driver songs. And so when they played it, it was just pure madness, pure anarchy. It was fantastic. I absolutely loved what they did with that song. And then the way they closed it might have been my favorite of the night. It's like this is arguably my favorite Devil Driver song, and the fact that they closed on it was just it made it all the better. And it's a good way to just like get people just riled up and awesome, and that's Meet the Wretched. They ended with Meet the Wretched, and it was just anarchy. It was fantastic. That's one of those songs that has one of those awesome, like, it starts at one kind of cadence and then it then changes to a super fast tempo that's just, oh my God. I love it. I absolutely loved it. And the fact that they played it, and they played it as well as they did, that was awesome. So, Devil Driver, they definitely brought it, and the crowd responded awesomely to it. You can definitely tell the pit was getting a lot more aggressive during that set. Um, so at that point, I mean, people were fired up. They were ready for Hatebreed, when Devil Driver left off. I mean, we already had two awesome extreme bands now it was time for, that Hatebreed hardcore that they would bring. So I have no voice, as you can tell. I was screaming pretty loud, especially during Hatebreed. That's because Hatebreed is one of those bands that is really like they've stuck with me over the years. Through a lot of really difficult times. So I've seen them live a few times, and every time I see them live, it always just brings back that same kind of just like power, that empowerment that I have needed a lot of times in my life. And that's a part of the reason why when I went to this show, I actually paid the extra like $40 to do the meet and greet. So I got to, meet the band, they, sign it, say what's up, get a picture with them. That was really cool of them. But also being able to just kind of, talk with them. Because, what I love about a lot of the bands I listen to is they're pretty down to earth. They're just, they're musicians. They're like, you could call them like blue collar musicians. And, they don't have this like prima donna, high and mighty type of attitude. They have a, like, thank you for coming. We hope we can put on a good show for you kind of attitude, like, they're with the people who support them. And so being able to talk to them and just, say what's up was awesome. I've done it before. Obviously it's a little bit different lineup now than when I did back in 2004 or 2005, but it doesn't matter because these guys are hard. These guys are so awesome. And it was also really cool just to actually thank Jamie personally for one of the podcast episodes he did. That was, it really, it on a personal level hit a real emotional, core of mine. So to be able to thank him in person for that was absolutely awesome. So it was definitely worth paying the extra money to be able just to say what's up to these guys before the show. And then, of course, they played their set and they delivered as I hoped they would and had really no doubts that they would. Hatebreed is just, they just exert energy. They are just they are a steamroller of, just energy. And it's good, positive energy. But it certainly gets the crowd riled up. You get a circle pit going there. I mean, this was, I haven't seen a pit like this in a long time because I really haven't been to as many concerts as I used to go to, but just seeing the energy that they brought and the crowd response to it was just fantastic. So they opened up with "Destroy Everything," which is one of those. It's a fun song, but it's kind of just one of those like anthem. Like let's get everybody fired up, get your fists in the air. Anytime you can get a crowd chanting something, that's where you know you can like hook them early. So they started with "Destroy Everything." And then they moved right into a couple songs from their new album. I haven't listened to their new album a ton, so I don't know all of the songs like kind of right off the bat. But they started off with AD, which that was a perfect way to start the album, let alone to kind of kick off the night as well. They started with "Destroy Everything," but AD is really where it just like jumped right into it. Um, but what I loved about their set is, and especially, Josta definitely, said this. He's like, we're going to play from every album. We're going to hit everything tonight. And they did. I mean, they started out with, "Destroy Everything." They went to AD. They jumped back into Perseverance. Oh my God, they played "A Call for Blood." There's like 3 or 4 songs off Perseverance that, it's like they just like get into my soul, and "A Call for Blood" is one of them. So when they played that early on, oh, I was so happy. And then you had "This Is Now," "Live for This," the 2 songs off of "Rise of Brutality" that really are positive, like empowering, those emboldening type of songs that really, I mean, is part of the reason why I love Hatebreed so much, is why they've affected my life so much, is they have these songs that really get into, like telling you you have the power to be a force in the world. And, stuff like, "Live for this. If you don't live for something, you'll die for nothing." It's that kind of, lyrical power that makes Hatebreed so attractive. Not to mention just how much fun their music is. It's fast, it's aggressive. It's I mean, it's classic hardcore type of music, and yeah, I just absolutely love it. What else did they play? They played Perseverance. Of course, they had to play Perseverance. They played a lot from Satisfaction is the Death of Desire, which I thought was awesome. They played um, definitely one of my favorites off of that album, Last Breath, which is fun for me because when I hear Last Breath, it reminds me of the first time I saw Hatebreed back in 2001. They came through on Ozfest, and I had no idea who they were at the time. But they played a short set on the second stage. But Last Breath is like one of those songs that I remember from that, and it's one of the reasons why I got hooked on Hatebreed. And so yeah, Last Breath was just awesome. And then they played it last night, and it was absolutely amazing. Um, they played To the Threshold. That's always a fun one to, it's a good. I mean, the thing about Hatebreed is they have so many like anthem songs that you could just like raise your fist and, you know, if you're into the pit, you can be in the pit and get that going, but you can otherwise just raise your fist, raise your voice, and a song like To the Threshold is one of those that really like you get you get that energy, that you're just like it's one big party at that point. Um, they played some stuff off of the self-titled "In Ashes They Shall Reap." That might have been one of my favorites of the night, even though like Perseverance holds like this really strong, feeling for me, and Last Breath has this like nostalgia aspect to it. "In Ashes They Shall Reap" was just this awesome, just I mean it's that great kind of song that you can get everybody singing along and just screaming their lungs out with the band. And it was, oh man, yeah. I'm just blown away by how much fun Hatebreed is every time I see them, and it never fails to surprise me how much fun they are. Um, they played Empty Promises. They ended the night with I Will Be Heard, which didn't really surprise me. It seemed like, that's like their big hit. It was featured in a movie, so people obviously remember it for that. But it was also just like that kind of like welcome world, we're Hatebreed sort of like song. I Will Be Heard, and it's another one of those songs like right off of Perseverance that like that makes me feel so much like pride and strength and all that. It's I will be heard. Absolutely love it, and so obviously glad that they played it, but even more tickled that they played it at the end, just as kind of this like last send off for for the night. Other highlights: they played Empty Promises. They played what's it called? Under the Knife. They played Doomsayer. I was really happy that they played Doomsayer. That's one of those songs that was it's one of my favorite off of Rise of Brutality. My favorite off of Rise of Brutality they did not play, which is Confide in No One. But at this point, I don't care because it's like the amount of music that they threw at us last night with just the passion, the energy, the positive. Jamie's like, we want everybody to leave here with a smile on their face. And I'm pretty sure everybody did, unless somebody got like clocked in the nose or something in the pit. Pretty much everybody left with a smile on their face because that's what Hatebreed does. It just brings out that awesome positive energy. Um, and you get your aggressions out. You get you lose your voice. He wanted everybody to leave here sounding just like him, and I kind of do. But it was just a fantastic night, and for the cost too. I mean, the show was like $20, 25 bucks. That's also good because it means they want to make it accessible. It was all age show, and there was even this guy with his daughter who couldn't have been more than like 7 or 8 years old. She was on his shoulder. She was rocking out the entire time. I mean, that's the kind of like amazing family mentality that you get at a show like this. Um, it's what Hatebreed breeds. It's what DevilDriver brings. Devil, it's awesome to see them a part of this as well. I know Howard probably felt really good to be out again and just rocking out. That's and I'm also somewhat proud of the crowd. It's I've been to a lot of shows in Denver that the crowd just was not into it. The crowd was just kind of, it's like the it's like, okay, are you going to get into this? Are you going to actually enjoy the music? But last night, the whole place was erupting. It was just mayhem left and right. It was total anarchy, which was awesome. But everybody left with, a smile on their face and definitely happy with the performances of these three bands. So, um, that's my review of last night's. A lot of gushing, but that's because it was so much fun. I absolutely needed that. Absolutely great show. So that's my review of Hatebreed, DevilDriver, and Devil You Know at the Summit Music Hall, and I'll see you next time.